Hi there. Welcome to this brand new video where I'm going to talk about how to overcome a low GPA, especially if you're chasing a bachelor's program abroad. My name is Anand Venkatesan. I'm the founder and mentor in this platform called mentorscapital.com. Our platform prides itself on a large network of mentors who, through their experiences and challenges that they face, can give you personalized and very relevant advice, helping you make the most of your study abroad dreams. Now, in part one of this video, of this two-part series, I talked about two things, right? I said, well, most universities abroad don't look at grades in isolation. They look at, a variety of, important parameters in your application. And so it's important to remember that. There are two strategies I listed out. Number one, start utilizing your time better and focus on the SAT or the ACT, because standardized tests can really, make up for any bad impressions that your GPA might create. But remember that, grades are only one aspect of the story. Also focus on gaining real time, real world experience, because there is no substitute for, upgrading your skills, in indulging in research, or basically doing community service with people around you, because this speaks volumes about your nature and your character, right? So these are two things we covered in part one. Now, in today's video, I'm going to talk about two different aspects. I did say admissions, are holistic, which means they look at admission committees, look at a whole variety of parameters, which also means that you have a big weapon in your hand. The essays and LORs that you're going to write and present to the university should really be tailored to make the most of your story. And one advice that I find students give each other, and even some admission counselors give, is to not talk about the GPA, is to not talk about grades and comfort with subjects and whatnot in your essays. And I feel, for one, that it's not a very smart strategy. It's important to be honest in your application, but also be realistic. And hence, one suggestion from my end is, do talk about your grades, do talk about why they are not up to the mark, or tell them if you look at grades differently, right? If it's not just the marks, but other aspects of learning which you focused on, maybe that should be part of your essays. All of it depends on the prompts that you have, because most applications require a statement of purpose, but also ask you to answer specific essay prompts. So depending on the prompts, make sure to highlight tough life situations that you might have faced. Now, this could vary from person to person. It could be a financial emergency, it could be a medical emergency that you or some member in your family faced, and what you did in those encounters, in those situations, can make you a strong person and can be an important facet of your story when you're writing an essay for admissions, right? So do keep that in mind. But I say this with a word of caution: please focus on the essay prompts. There's a tendency for us to focus more on our own narrative and our own stories, but not evaluating whether it answers the specific question being asked. So do limit yourself to the prompt given in the question, adhere to the word limits, and make sure that you create that kind of honesty and impactful impression on the jury, right? So that's something that should go a long way in saying that, hey, I can succeed, I can do well in this program, I can adjust to the tough environment that both the new education system as well as the new market I seek employment in, both challenges can be overcome by me, right? So that's an important impression for you to leave behind, as is your need to start early. Now, if you know that your grades are poor, then it is your prerogative to start early, because you'll be applying to multiple universities. Each university would have multiple essay prompts, so you need to give yourself the time to draft essays, and also tailor them specific to the university and the location, geography, etc. Because customized answers will be, can become important. I'm not saying that all answers need to be different, but customizing it to the school can sometimes make that extra bit of difference that you're looking for, right? Now, when it comes to your application, the stories and the narratives that you're trying to build, remember in terms of announcing your chances of success, you need to showcase specific skills, and it's one way to showcase your passion areas or your interests by way of curiosities, by way of you indulging in different activities around the skill or the area that you're interested in, even going out of the way and maybe sometimes leading a team effort to achieve a certain goal. But above all, I think the one thing that students tend to take lightly is talking to people who can vouch for you, right? This could include people in school, right? Your principal, your teachers, and your counselor. A word of strong word of support from their end can really give confidence to admission committees, as can other people outside your school infrastructure, your school community. It could be somebody you worked with, somebody you volunteered for, and a strong letter of recommendation highlighting. Remember, it's not just about vouching for you, it's also about vouching for the right reasons, right? What they talk about, what they highlight in their LORs should complement what you've built up as a story, as a narrative. And so that communication and that seeking soliciting help, and also making it specific to particular areas can really make a big difference to your application, right? So that's number two. And finally, make sure that you shortlist with all of this in mind, because when you're shortlisting universities, make sure that you evaluate the eligibility requirements, their criteria for selection, because sometimes universities, well, when they do say there are minimum grades that you need to have achieved, most of the times that's about a 70% or a 3 point out on a 4 point scale GPA. So if there are specific admission requirements, whether it's to do with grades or subjects that you need to have taken, or the kind of profile that they're looking at, make sure that you're aware of that. Number one. Number two, in your research, you can actually handpick universities that are not as stringent on GPA or requirements or grade requirements, and they can be, there are some universities which can be flexible in their evaluation methods in assessing a candidate, and these could go beyond the grades, right? So make sure that you do your research, and above all, remember that when you're crafting your application and when you're planning universities to apply for, keep in mind that universities tend to look at your performance not in isolation but as a trend. Now, what this means is that you might be feeling that your grades are poor and there's no point in working in grade 12 if your grade 11 performance was poor. Remember that a forward trend, an upward trend, which shows that, hey, from 10th there was a slight mishap. In grade 11 the marks were low, but this was sufficiently made up in grade 12, and that story of the overall trend being upward can really work in your favor. So don't give up on academics. Make sure that you do the best you can and get that maximum possible GPA, but work on other aspects of your application, because you can overcome any GPA fallbacks that you might have in your profile, right? Now, all of this information that I'm giving you obviously comes from a deep network of mentors that we have, and these are people who are sagely in their wisdom, and experiences are off the charts. So if you wish to contact any one of our mentors, if you need help with how to prepare for the SAT, how to go about crafting impressive essays or LORs, or maybe it's simply practice you need for an interview or an online assessment, do not hesitate to contact us. The link in the description will take you right to our website where you can register and directly address your queries to me. Alternatively, you can comment on this video. If you have any suggestions for me, things that I should be covering in future videos, do let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and wish you all the very, very best in your journey. My name is Anand, and this is me signing off.